I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we'll explore types of discontinuities for given rational functions. Question is, describe the vertical asymptotes and holes for the graph of each rational function. We are given four different rational functions and we need to describe what type of holes or vertical asymptotes they have. I should say what type of discontinuity they have. It could be either a hole or a vertical asymptote if there is any discontinuity. Part A is f of x equals to x plus 1 times x minus 2 divided by x minus 1. B is f of x equals to x minus 3 divided by 3x times 2x minus 1. C is f of x equals to x plus 1 times x minus 2 divided by x squared minus 1. And D is x plus 1 divided by x plus 1 whole square. You can pause the video, answer the question, then look into my suggestion. Now when we examine the discontinuities in rational functions, what is important? It is important to see when can we have denominator as 0, and it is also important to check the zeros of numerator, since common zeros of numerator and denominator may give us a whole. So that is the base. Let's begin by answering these questions one by one. The first one is x plus 1, x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. There are no common factors in numerator and denominator. Now the denominator is 0 at x equals to 1. That means we have vertical asymptote at x equals to 1. Correct? In this equation, f of x equals to x minus 3 divided by 3x times 2x minus 1. Now let us examine if we have any common factor in numerator and denominator. There is none. There are two factors in denominator. Now 3x equals to 0 means x equals to 0, and 2x minus 1 equals to 0 means x equals to half. Now both values will give us vertical asymptote. Therefore at both values we have vertical asymptotes. So here we have two vertical asymptotes, correct? One is at x equals to 0, the other one is at x equals to half. Now let's check this one. Now here f of x is equals to x plus 1 times x minus 2 divided by x squared minus 1. We can factor the denominator. So let's factor. So what do we get? We get x plus 1 times x minus 2 divided by, this is difference of squares, so that is x plus 1 times x minus 1. Now if we examine, we have a common factor in numerator and denominator. This will give us a whole, right? And so we have whole at x equals to minus 1, and x minus 1 does not have any common factor, so we have vertical asymptote at x equals to plus 1. Correct? That is how we describe it. The last one here. In this particular case, we have x plus 1 divided by x plus 1 whole square. So I can write this as x plus 1 over x plus 1 times x plus 1. Now this cancels out, and still we are left with 1 over x plus 1. And of course we cannot have x equals to minus 1. Now here it is a combination. So we have at x equals to minus 1, we have a discontinuity. Now you have to tell me whether it is a whole or a vertical asymptote. What is it? This is very important. Now even if you have a common factor, in this case we have a vertical asymptote as a discontinuity, right? Since x plus 1 still remains a factor in the denominator, right? So in this case we have vertical asymptote at x equals to minus 1. Do you get the idea? So what you get from here is that if denominator has a 0, then we can get either a whole or a vertical asymptote. Now if denominator and numerator has a common factor, in that case also there is a possibility of whole and a vertical asymptote. Do you see that? But in general, if they do not have a common factor, then there will be a vertical asymptote always, right? So we can summarize that if there is a common factor between numerator and denominator, there is a possibility of whole or a vertical asymptote for a rational function. But if there is no common factor between numerator and denominator, then there will be a vertical asymptote for the rational function at that point. I hope that helps. Thank you.